Next week for a project, we're actually going to go out on the internet, use our Android device's ability to look at a web page and then get little pieces of information from that web page and develop this cool app that will show the high, low, and last, and volume and change of a stock price. And it will show us this really cool image of the history. It has a spinner in it. We drop this little arrow here down and we can select from Facebook, we can select GM. We got a few of them in here, and you can also customize that later on to put your own stock values, or stocks in there if you wish. If you click down here to this web page right here, it will get you this web page. This is where we actually get our information from. And if I take and make this a little bit smaller here, it's this web page right here, okay? And if you give it G, it will give you all the New York Stock Exchange stocks that start with G. So we're going to be looking through this, looking for like GM, and then that will give us all the information for that, okay? So that's how we're getting this really cool information this week. Once again, we're using a spinner to be able to drop down to select from different types of stocks, and you'll be able to edit those in time and put your own stocks in there if you wish. JSoup is a really cool class written in Java that you can take a web page, download the whole thing, put it into a document, and then search for pieces of information that you might want to get out of it. You won't have to learn about JSoup because I've taken and used it inside this really cool class that I created for you. What this class does is it goes out using JSoup, downloads that web page that we just looked at, and gets just information out of it that pertains to the stock that you want to get. To do that, we're just going to create a new instance of this stock value class, and we send it the acronym for the stock and then also the acronym for the stock exchange, and we'll actually take and get that information for us and return that to us in public variables so we don't have to do anything real fancy. The next thing we want to take a look at is this async task. When we take and drop this down and switch to a different stock exchange, it takes a couple seconds for that whole web page to be downloaded. Android doesn't like to sit around and wait, so what we have to do is we have to do it on a separate thread in the background. So what's going to happen is when we change this to GM, you're going to get this little spinner on here. The spinner actually is created in the beginning, okay? And then in the middle, in the background, it takes and downloads this web page, and when it's done, it will take and make that spinner disappear, and then it will post that information for us, okay? And that's what this async task is. You'll learn more about that later. We've previously installed or saved, I believe, capitals, states and capitals in our value strings, okay? So that's nothing new, but we're going to put names of stocks and things like that in there so that we can draw from that so our spinner can give us different stocks. Well, that's about it. Let's get started.